It's happening! It's happening! It's actually happening! Welcome back to Movies TV Man. I am Mick, your host with the most. Just ask your girlfriends, wives, and especially your boyfriends and your husbands. A very warm welcome back to the DCU Daily and welcome to Thursday's edition of the DCU Daily! Yes! It's happening! James Gunn has been hinting about his follow-up to this year's Superman movie, a movie I didn't really care for, if I'm being blatantly honest. So he's been teasing the follow-up for weeks and weeks and weeks. He said we would be surprised with what we've got, what we're getting as that follow-up. Now he makes it clear that Man of Tomorrow, the title of his follow-up to Superman, is not Superman 2. I'm here today to explain to you the methodology behind him choosing this as the follow-up to Superman, what it's about, and what's going on. So, shall we do this? Right, let's put my phone down and let's talk about it. Now, you can follow me on Twitter at Movies TV Mad, and on Instagram and on Threads at Movies TV Mad X, on TikTok, Mad Mickey's World, and on Snapchat, BMouth60. If you add me on those platforms, it's very different to what I do here on YouTube, so be prepared for that. I'm very proud of my body, what I've got, what I've been given. At the end of the day, that's what it's all about. Anyway, so, Man of Tomorrow, it's happening. It's going to be released in July of 2027. What is it, July the 9th? Something like that. Now, people have noticed and commented on something, that the quick turnaround in this movie is very, very interesting. Why is that? When I first saw James post this on his social media, I think I first saw it on Twitter, ex-Twitter, part of me, a little part of me kind of had this reaction of excitement, because I'm a Superman fan at the end of the day. I'm kind of happy that he's going with this super saga. As a Superman fan, I'm happy they feel that Superman is popular enough to make him front and centre of the DCU. But mostly my reaction was cynical. Because let's be absolutely clear about this. This movie shows you how utterly panic-ridden they are. Now, clearly, the figures that the movie's made, around $625 million, is enough to justify a sequel. So what are we getting here? What is this? People saw that picture that James Gunn posted and said, it's a Lex Luthor and Superman team-up movie. No. It is a Lex Luthor and Superman team-up movie, but it's an everyone team-up movie. We already know that Hulk Girl's in it. They're all going to be in it. All the Justice Gang are going to be in it. There's even rumours that Peacemaker's going to be in it. Everything from James Gunn's DCU thus far and beyond will be in this movie. Basically, they are chasing after what the Russos are doing with the two Avengers movie. But, two Avengers movies. Because what the difference is, the MCU has been going for years and years and years, over 20 movies, right? And God knows how many streaming shows at this point. Well, the DCU's only been going for Creature Commandos, Superman, and Peacemaker 2. This is a team-up movie. Because, again, Gunn is playing the only trick he's good at playing, which is team-up movies. Movies with groups of characters in them. So you can imagine that Lex Luthor is going to be kind of like this misunderstood villain, that by the end of the movie, we're going to be thinking, Lex isn't so bad, he's done those bad things, but he helped out with this battle. Clearly, there's going to be some threat. Some people think it's going to be Brainiac. There were a lot of rumours about a Brainiac post-credit scene. But we've been gagging for Brainiac in a live-action movie for years, and still haven't got it. Is James Gunn the right guy to do Brainiac? He is in charge of the DCU, he is writing and directing this movie. There's been a change from Gods and Monsters to the Super Saga. Why is that? 625 million globally. That's what it is. I repeat, that's a really good solid figure if your movie didn't cost as much as it did to make. But what they've done is they've looked at the figure, which is solid by the way, and thought, well, let's look at the MCU. Those movies haven't done as well as Superman this year. So, actually, we're not as in a badder position as the MCU is right now. People did go and watch Superman, especially domestically. We're not going to make much money on it, but let's strike while the iron's hot. Let's forget about Gods and Monsters and keep on with Superman. Now, when he was hinting about his follow-up to Superman, which is not Superman 2, but in reality, it's as close to a Superman 2 as we'll actually get. And he's already said that Superman plays a huge part in this movie. Yes, he's part of the group of characters that will be in this movie. But the title is another nickname for Superman. So it's kind of Superman-like. Again, I think they're going to use Superman as an inspiration for the Justice Gang, Lex Luthor, and all these other characters. What's also interesting about this film, it will release before the Batman 2. That is fucking crazy. So James Gunn absolutely wants to take centre stage. But what's interesting is, you know, we could be looking at a scenario that the Batman 2 actually makes money, more money, than Superman and Man of Tomorrow combined. I expect the Batman 2 to be a great movie, as long as Gunn doesn't interfere. If it's all Matt's movie, you know, people are going to want to watch this movie. Matt Reeves is a genius. We know that. So, but James Gunn wants to strike while the iron is hot. So basically, you're looking at another James Gunn team-up movie. So you're either excited about this or you're angry about this. If you're a Snyder fan, you want to restore the Snyderverse. You're seeing this. You're upset because you've all been saying for many, many weeks and months now that Superman is a flop. And I suppose you could call it a movie that underwhelmed the box office, but not as much as the MCU movies. We were reading those articles in my latest video that I just posted. Long video. Hope it wasn't too boring for you. But, I mean, Deadline called Superman when announcing this confirmation of this follow-up to Superman. You know, they were describing Superman as a massive success. It's crazy. No, 625 million, you know, isn't a massive success. The film will not bring in a massive profit. But Warner Brothers and Gunn have said already that they never expected their first movie to be successful. So to them, they've adjusted their plan. Not that I believe that Gods and Monsters was ever a real plan. Is Gods and Monsters still a thing? No. Forget Gods and Monsters, it's over. Now, it's the Super Saga. And Man of Tomorrow is the next movie in the Super Saga. Now, Gunn's claiming there could be 3 or 4 movies in this Super Saga. Now, I told you even before Superman released that if Superman brought in the money, that kind of made them think, Superman, should we go with him instead of Gods and Monsters? Then they would go full on Superman, and that's what they're doing. Now, as a Superman fan, even though I don't like this iteration of Superman, and I don't like the movie very much, and I don't like what Gunn did with the movie, as a Superman fan, it is kind of nice and exciting to see Superman get some kind of follow-up. But this is no different to what happened with BVS. Man of Steel, like Superman, didn't bring in the money WB wanted, as I've explained painstakingly again and again. They fired David Goyer, which I keep on saying was a huge mistake. They fired David Goyer and they went to Snyder. If you want to stay, you've got to bring in Batman. So he brought in Batman. It wasn't Zack's idea to do a Batman as Superman movie. It was his idea to put in these stories and narratives within that movie, but it wasn't his idea to call it Batman versus Superman, to have Batman in the movie That was the panic reaction from WB. And again, we're getting the same panicked reaction from WB. Clearly, this was kind of in Gunn's thinking, but this wasn't always going to be the next movie. I'm quite sure of that. So what I can see from this, my assessment from hearing this, and you know, as I say, Gunn's been hinting about this for weeks and weeks and weeks. I think once the money that came in for Superman, solid, I have to repeat it. You know, the 625 isn't, or whatever it is, or what, you know, I think it will end up at 625. It's about 6.8, 6.10, whatever it is right now. They knew they weren't going to make 750, 850, $1 billion. They knew that. So they're kind of happy that their movie is the most successful comic book movie of the year. Even though it's nothing to crow about, they're content with that, and they're happy if they can bring in the same amount of money again. But I believe that this will have a lot of cameos, Easter eggs, and everyone and his mother is going to be in this movie. So no, it's not just a Superman, Lex Luthor team up. It's an everyone team up. Basically, this is as close as you may get with a James Gunn Justice League movie, because they're all going to be in it. They're already teaming up, right? So it's not a Justice League movie, but it's a team up movie, and a lot of people could be in this movie. The big question everyone's asking is the DCU Batman, if there ever will be a DCU Batman, be in this movie. I thought that the DCU Batman will be introduced in Superman. I think it's a big mistake, but they don't know what to do with the DCU Batman. They literally don't know whether they should cast someone new, get Pattinson to do it. You know, he's been trying to convince Pattinson and Reeves to allow that to happen. I still think at this point they don't have a clue what they're going to do with the DCU Batman. I don't think they're looking for an actor to play Batman. Could be wrong, by the way. As a content creator, as I keep on saying, it's okay to be wrong. We do this to have takes. If we don't have opinions, what's the fucking point? And what's the fucking point of you watching us if we don't jump off the fucking fence and give our takes? I don't think we're anywhere near a DCU Batman. Of course, I could be wrong. And I'm more than comfortable to be wrong. But Gunn is stuck between a rock and a hard place. He's stuck over Batman in a rock and a hard place from this is not his doing. He came in to find an existing Batman. Zaslav wanted a franchise with all these DC characters, a reboot. And you need Batman, don't you? We have a Batman outside of the DCU. And this is the problem. The question they're asking, can there be two Batmen? Now, I've spoken about two Batmen being problematic. But if it were me, I'd forget about convincing Pattinson and Reeves to come in. I'd just cast my own Batman and say, fuck that. Fuck your Batman. You know, I don't care if I clash with your Batman. I don't care if I hurt your box office, right? At the end of the day, you've asked me, you've tasked me to create a brand new cinematic and streaming universe. So, we need a Batman. I mean, Zaslav's the problem here because he doesn't want two Batmen. But you've got a situation, you've got the franchise, the DCU has to have a Batman. So the big question will be, will Batman be in this movie? Interesting, if Batman's in this movie, fucking hell, that would be amazing. Now, a lot of the actors have retweeted and commented on the news, on the post, social media post from James Gunn, from the Superman movie. So it looks like the people who have liked, retweeted, reposted, commented are going to be in Man of Tomorrow. One person I've noticed, I don't know if that's changed, I haven't seen Rachel Cornsweb say anything. Is Lois Lane in this movie? Very, very interesting. But another question for you. Gunn is planning for a Wonder Woman movie and Paradise Lost on Max. Is Wonder Woman going to be in this movie? Again, if Wonder Woman and Batman are in this movie as well, this could be huge. I believe this will be a huge team-up movie, not just with the people from the Superman movie, but other DC characters as well. So this could end up being a really huge second movie. No, I did not like Superman, but I'm a balanced guy running a balanced platform. And there's only one way to find out for me if I'm going to like this second movie, and that's by watching it. I rarely watch modern movies. I've unsubscribed from all streaming services. I don't believe they can make good TV and good movies and entertainment anymore. But I love Superman and I love DC. I don't do these daily videos for my own health or to make money. I'm not making any money. It's not a monetized fucking channel. I'm here every day with you guys because I love DC fans and I love these DC characters. And I don't sit here wanting things to fail so they can restore the Snyderverse. That's not the kind of fan I am. I'm an all-round DC fan, as well as a fan of the early DCEU. But it's not just about Snyder for me. So I hope Gunn knows what he's doing. I mean, in terms of the first Superman, it wasn't really for me. Will Supergirl be in Man of Tomorrow as well? We'll have to wait and see. But my final assessment is, this is people that are desperate, that are panicked and don't know what to do next. And they've looked at the 600 million plus global box office and said, not great, but not terrible. Let's go on with a sequel. And it is a kind of direct sequel. It's going to kind of continue on. What's interesting is Lex Luthor's going to be in this, right? Nicholas Hoult is back as Lex Luthor, continuing the dynamic they had in the first movie. Now, Gunn, that's the one thing that Gunn is good at. Anti-heroes, groups of people. So this, I think this even more will be more like a Guardians of the Galaxy movie. For some people, that's unoriginal and bland and may, and for other people, it will be very, very exciting.